GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening. Tonight we'll break down the three-person bail hearing after 67-kilogram cocaine seizure, plus the 134 million Place des AR renovation, and give you a quick traffic snapshot with minor construction delays. I'll also preview Startup Fest in the Old Port. Over to you, Emma.
Christian Blackshow will perform at the Pinnacle of Romanticism concert, held at Place des AR this Saturday evening, featuring works by Chopin, Schumann, and Rachmaninoff.
Tickets start at $40 for general admission, with premium seats reaching $80 and doors open at 6:30 p.m. Seating begins promptly at 7.
The concert is part of the Summer Classical Series, and a live stream will be available online for viewers unable to attend in person, free with registration.
The evening promises an intimate interpretation of romantic masterpieces, drawing music lovers from across the city. And now, with those details shared, lots to get to, let's begin. Good evening, Montreal. 3 individuals from Quebec and New Brunswick are slated to appear today in a Montreal court for a bail hearing after police seized 67 kilograms of cocaine in a joint operation. The seizure, carried out by authorities from both provinces, led to charges of trafficking against the 3 suspects. Prosecutors will seek conditions for release while the case moves forward. The massive haul, reported as the largest drug bust in the region this year, underscores the scale of the coordinated effort that disrupted the network. Court officials said the hearing will address whether the accused remain in custody pending trial. Law enforcement officials declined to disclose further details about the operation, citing ongoing investigations. The court will consider each suspect's ties to the alleged network and the quantity of the seized narcotics when determining bail conditions. If granted, they will remain under strict monitoring until their trial later this year.
Place des AR has broken ground on a massive $134 million rehabilitation of its historic theater building. The work, set to span the summer of 2028, is already underway in the downtown complex that anchors the city's cultural scene. Officials say the renovation will modernize backstage facilities, upgrade seating, and improve accessibility while preserving the venue's iconic architecture. Construction crews are focused on restoring the facade and installing new acoustic systems, with completion aimed for the 2028 performance season. The project is funded through a mix of public and private contributions, reflecting the city's commitment to keeping the arts at the heart of the community. As the theater building transforms, performers and audiences can look forward to a refreshed space that will host concerts, ballets, and theatrical productions for years to come.
CN Rail has resumed freight movements through Repentigny after a major derailment halted traffic on Sunday afternoon. The line now operates under reduced speed limits, while each train undergoes a qualified inspection before departing the affected stretch. Officials said the inspections are designed to verify track integrity and rolling stock safety before normal service can return. No further incidents have been reported since the derailment, and crews continue to clear debris and repair damaged infrastructure. Local distributors reported delays in receiving shipments, prompting some to seek alternate routing while the railway works to clear the line. The corridor serves major manufacturers in the region, making its swift reopening vital for supply chains. CN Rail expects full speed to return within the next few weeks as repairs progress. The railway thanked emergency responders for their swift action in containing the incident and restoring limited operations.
Traffic officials have announced that Autoroute 40 will be closed for the entire weekend between the Côte de Lys interchange and Autoroute 15. The shutdown begins Saturday morning and continues through Sunday, forcing drivers to seek alternate routes across the island. The closure affects one of the city's main east-west arteries, so commuters heading toward the west side or the northern suburbs should expect delays on the Trans-Canada Corridor and on nearby collector roads. Detour signage will be posted at the affected interchanges, and the Provincial Transportation Ministry advises motorists to allow extra travel time and to consider public transit options where feasible. The work is part of a scheduled maintenance program aimed at preserving road conditions for the upcoming summer travel season. Officials will monitor traffic flow and provide updates throughout the weekend.
From June 1st through 4th, the city will stage 4 Olympic qualifying events, giving athletes a chance to earn spots for the 2028 Summer Games. BMX riders will race on a custom track set up near the former Olympic Stadium, while flag football teams compete on a temporary field at the downtown Expo grounds. Beach volleyball will bring sand courts to the waterfront promenade, and skateboarders will showcase tricks at a purpose-built bowl in the Park District. Organizers say the schedule is designed to draw fans from across the province and provide a lively preview of the upcoming games. Local businesses are preparing for the influx of visitors, and volunteers are being recruited to help run the competition smoothly. The lineup promises a mix of speed, strategy, and style, highlighting the city's growing reputation as a hub for action sports. Later we'll unpack the CFIA warning about toxin-tainted shellfish on the North Shore, a story that may affect your dinner. We will be right back.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that break. Let's turn now to Emma Leclair, who's ready with the day's local stories.
Emma Leclair, the Toronto Tempo, the league's first Canadian WNBA franchise, is set to bring 2 regular season games to Centre Bell this weekend. The matchups are scheduled for July 11th and July 12th, giving local fans a chance to see top-flight women's basketball without leaving the city. Organizers say the events are part of a broader effort to grow the sport across Quebec, and tickets have already begun selling. The venue will accommodate thousands of spectators, and the team hopes the Montreal crowd will create a lively atmosphere for both contests. With the games taking place just 3 days from now, residents looking for a weekend outing have a high-energy option that blends sport and community spirit. Nearby restaurants and transit services are preparing for increased foot traffic, and local sponsors are displaying their branding throughout the arena.
Health officials have issued an urgent alert about seafood from the North Shore. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says a paralytic biotoxin has been detected in mussels, clams, and oysters harvested in that region. The toxin can cause serious neurological symptoms if consumed, and the agency is advising anyone who bought fresh shellfish from local markets or restaurants to check the source and discard any product that may have come from the affected area. Retailers have been instructed to halt sales until testing confirms safety. The CFIA continues to sample harvests daily and will update the public as results come in. Residents who enjoy a coastal dinner are being asked to wait for clearance before ordering raw shellfish, and chefs are reviewing menus to avoid the at-risk varieties. Authorities also recommend cooking shellfish thoroughly, as heat can neutralize many toxins.
Alberta has reignited the conversation about a proposed pipeline that would cut across Quebec, after reaching a new agreement with Ontario. The province's plan, which has long met resistance from Quebec groups, is now back on the agenda as officials in Edmonton and Toronto negotiate route details. Quebec's Energy Minister, Christine Fréchette, told reporters that while the project remains controversial, the province has not closed the door on further discussion. She emphasized that any decision will weigh environmental concerns, economic benefits, and the views of local communities. Alberta's push follows a recent deal with Ontario that outlines a shared approach to the western segment, prompting Quebec to reassess its position. The renewed debate could impact energy markets and regional infrastructure planning as the 3 provinces weigh the next steps soon.
A new study from McGill University and the Douglas Research Center reveals that Quebec residents struggling with gambling addiction attended an average of fewer than 2 free rehabilitation sessions over the 12-year span from 2009 to 2022. Researchers examined program records and found that despite the services being offered at no cost, participation remained strikingly low. The analysis highlights a gap between the availability of treatment and the actual use by those who need it most. Health officials note that the findings raise concerns about outreach and awareness, suggesting that many individuals may not be accessing help that could alleviate financial strain and personal distress. As the data underscore persistent underutilization, policymakers and service providers may need to consider how to better connect vulnerable people with the support that is already in place.
Effective today, the Quebec government has issued a province-wide ban on any open-air fire in the forested region north of the St. Lawrence River. Officials say the order comes as the area grapples with a surge of wildfires, with at least 200 active blazes currently burning across the northern woods. The restriction applies to campfires, charcoal grills, fireworks, and any other uncontrolled flame, and enforcement teams are already patrolling popular trailheads and remote campsites. Residents and visitors are being reminded that the ban remains in force until authorities deem the fire danger subsides. The move aims to curb new ignitions while fire crews focus on containing the existing infernos that threaten nearby roads and power lines. As the situation evolves, the province says the prohibition will stay in place as long as the fire count stays high.
Let's get a look at your evening forecast with our weather team now.
A westward jet and easing pressure are pulling warm air north, setting the stage for a dry evening. On this date, the city scorched to 31 degrees in 2020, a peak that rode the tail of a lingering heat wave. The coldest reading was 12.5 degrees in 2019, when an Arctic blast slipped unusually far south. Normal highs hover around 29 degrees and lows near 21, so today's 30-degree mark sits a touch above the long-term average while the night will dip to 20 degrees, well within the typical range. The live radar shows a clear swath across southern Quebec, with no rain echoes from the St. Lawrence to the Laurentians. A weak ridge sits over the province, and the westward jet at 95 kilometers per hour is steering disturbance north of us. With high pressure building aloft, the atmosphere remains dry and stable, so we expect the clear skies to persist through the evening before fading to a few scattered clouds after midnight. At 6 p.m., the city sits under a clear dome with 30 degrees and a southwest breeze at 18 kilometers per hour. Near average pressure is easing lower, hinting at a gradual rise in unsettled chances overnight, while the jet stream overhead at 95 kilometers per hour continues to inject modest upper-level momentum. Tonight will hold mostly clear skies, cooling to 20 degrees by midnight as radiative loss intensifies. The UV index remains at 6 for the remaining daylight, and wind gusts will stay below 25 kilometers per hour. No weather alerts are active. Expect a brief cloud fringe after midnight, then a quiet night. Humidity sits at 38%, keeping the air comfortable, and visibility stretches 16 kilometers, confirming the stable air mass. Thursday brings a sharp dip as a cold front slides in from the west, delivering overcast skies and a 65% chance of rain. Temperatures fall to a high of 24 degrees and a low of 19, a noticeable retreat from today's warmth. Friday rebounds under high pressure, clearing to mainly clear skies and a pleasant high of 29 degrees, while humidity drops again. Saturday and Sunday remain under the same ridge, offering clear skies and comfortable highs around 27 to 28 degrees, with lows steady near 18. Monday closes the stretch with partly cloudy conditions, a high of 29 degrees and a low of 20, keeping the week's warm trend intact. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up, traffic updates, tonight's Startup Fist lineup, and a recap of Evelyn Badu's hat trick heroics. We will be right back.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
The biggest slowdown right now is the westbound approach to the New Isle Aux Torts Bridge. That lane is closed, and traffic is diverted onto the service road through St. Anne de Bellevue and Senville. Eastbound of 40 between Cavendish Boulevard and the Laurentian Interchange is also closed. Drivers must use exit 65 and the service road. At the Descaries Interchange, eastbound access from a 40 East to a 15 South is blocked. Use Descaries Boulevard to get around. Further east, one of two eastbound lanes between the Laurentides Interchange and Acadie Boulevard is down, and the eastbound link from Highway 40 East to Highway 15 North at the Laurentides Interchange follows the service roads and Acadie roundabout. On Metropolitan Highway, one of three eastbound lanes at Lacordaire Boulevard is closed and the westbound side is fully shut, with a detour via exit 76. No transit delays are reported this afternoon. Aside from these construction zones, traffic is flowing normally, so allow a few minutes around the closures.
Startup Fist kicks off today at the Port of Montreal, Tower of the Grand Quay, with world-renowned entrepreneurs, talks, and networking. Curious about the next breakthrough? This is the place. Classical music lovers can drift to the Église de Saint Alphonse Rodriguez for Christian Blackshaw's recital, a masterful journey through the romantic piano repertoire. Over on Isle Saint-Hélène, the International des Feux Loto Quebec lights up La Ronde each night, a fireworks showdown that turns the skyline into a canvas of color, perfect for a family outing. Meanwhile, the Just for Laughs festival continues across venues from Place des Arts to Théâtre Maisonneuve, delivering fresh laughs nightly for anyone needing a smile. And for food lovers, the Taste of the Caribbean opens tomorrow at the Clock Tower Pier, offering island cuisine and live music that will whisk you away. And looking ahead, Soul Fest Montreal arrives tomorrow at St. James United Church, promising 4 days of Motown, R&B, and dance that will keep the city moving. And now here's Jason with sports.
Here's the latest on Montreal's soccer surge and hockey moves. An international sports firm has committed $30 million to the Northern Super League, the Canadian women's professional soccer circuit now in its second season. The infusion supports all 6 clubs, Vancouver, Calgary, Halifax, Montreal, Toronto, and Ottawa, bolstering growth and operations. Evelyn Badu delivered a hat trick as Montreal Roses FC overwhelmed Vancouver Rise FC, posting a 5-1 victory on Saturday in the Northern Super League. The dominant performance highlighted the Roses' attacking depth and gave them a decisive win in the league's early campaign. The Vancouver Canucks have acquired forward Brendan Gallagher from the Montreal Canadiens in exchange for future considerations, according to the latest transaction report. The move sends a veteran winger to Vancouver, opening a roster spot for Montreal as they reshape their forward group. Goaltending legend Carey Price was elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame, joining the 2026 class alongside Pekka Rinne, Keith Tkachuk, and Cindy Curley. The Montreal native's induction underscores his lasting impact on the franchise.
Startup Fest in the Old Port brings the city's tech pulse to the waterfront. This year's 3-day festival launches July 8 through 10, gathering local and international founders, investors, and ecosystem leaders for a marathon of pitch competitions, workshops, and networking lounges that spill onto the historic quays. Organizers say the event showcases Montreal's deep talent pool and signals the Old Port's evolution from tourism hub to innovation corridor. Attendees will wander from the historic market stalls to the sleek demo stages, forging connections that often turn into the next generation of Montreal-born companies. It matters because Startup Fest turns our city's creative energy into tangible growth, reminding every Montreal eyes that the future is built right here at home. Stay tuned for a look at Startup Fest's 2026 edition launch in the Old Port, bringing fresh energy to Montreal.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches, no middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
On a crisp evening along Rue St. Laurent, the lights of the cafes flicker as a small group gathers outside the McGill University Health Research Center. Inside, Dr. Isabelle Tremblay and her team of immunologists lean over a bench of glowing Petri dishes, their faces illuminated by the soft hum of incubators. Across the street, community health worker Marc Leclair distributes flyers at a neighborhood health fair, his smile brightening the conversation with a single-parent mother who stopped by to learn about hepatitis C testing. The breakthrough they announced this week feels like a quiet triumph for Montreal. By tracing how the immune cells that chase hepatitis C can inadvertently open a hidden doorway for HIV, the researchers have identified a new target for early intervention. The moment the data confirmed the link, the lab erupted in restrained applause, knowing that this insight could translate into faster screenings and more protective care for the city's most vulnerable. In a city that looks after each other, that hope is a promise we can all share.
From the windswept cliffs of the Magdalen Islands, a lone fisherman lowered his net at dawn, the sea a mirror of sunrise. As the line slipped through the water, a sleek silhouette broke the surface, a great white, its dorsal fin cutting the calm like a silver blade. The creature, later identified by researchers on the shore as a 730-pound female they've named Bella, lingered for a brief moment before diving back into the Gulf of St. Lawrence. Marine biologists on the shore explained that Bella is part of a growing seasonal chorus of great whites that have returned as the species rebounds from decades of decline. They pointed to the abundance of seal colonies and the cleaner, cooler waters that now invite these apex predators. For the local community, the site feels like a quiet celebration of resilience, both of the ocean's balance and of the people who have watched its rhythms for generations. Tonight, as the sun dips behind the cliffs, the memory of Bella glides alongside the tide. It's a reminder that when nature heals, we all share in the wonder.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the local sunset. Tonight's look at the Place des Arts launch of a $134 million renovation reminded us how our city continues to evolve. Stay tuned tomorrow for more stories that shape our community. Until then, take care and see you soon.